Hey guys, welcome back to No Socks. This is episode 7 of our podcast. I'm your host Pat and joined by my co-host Caitlyn, and we're here with Sam, or better known as Gallagath.
Howdy.
Yeah.
Howdy.
Yeah. So
Cool. Yeah. Welcome to season 2.
yes, season 2.
Very exciting. Oh, doing. It's a new location. It's a new day, everyone.
Yeah, we should probably address that as the first thing. Yeah, we've moved to a different new location, and yeah.
But besides that, who cares about all that? We're not here to talk about that right now. We're here to talk about our friend Sam. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and thanks for having me, guys. I'm super excited to sort of get into this new album, sort of talk
Yeah,
about
definitely.
where everything's headed.
And it's called Abnormal Nocturnal.
Abnormal Nocturnal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't believe we got it on the actual promo.
What did you think of our
Oh,
little
that was-
promo?
So funny.
Yeah. Okay.
I love, I feel like I could see a way in which, an artist that isn't me would see that and be like, they forgot the name of the album.
Yeah.
I'm really trusting these. No, it was so funny.
Yeah. Press X to self-deprecate.
Appreciate, and the goal's the wrong word. That's got bad connotations, but
The aim.
the decision to stick by it and not refilm it, I respect.
I mean, I had no choice in that. Someone else did that, actually.
that was kind of me and Brandon. We were like, this is so funny. Pat's like, oh no. Like, the world has to see. I love it when Pat messes up. No, you know what I mean. I don't know.
Okay.
It's just bloopers.
Yeah.
It's great.
I guess, so, I mean, I actually got here a bit late, so in case you didn't know, but the traffic, right, wasn't actually as bad. It's, time filming this, I was driving through, I guess, school hours, after school hours. It wasn't bad. How's the bus ride? How's your journey, though? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. It was, I think you may have gotten there with the traffic not being too bad. I think it picked up as soon as our bus left.
Oh.
So, I was I guess I shouldn't say this because I'm the guest, but I was a little bit late as well. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. I'm kind of because I don't drive yet. I'm pretty used to carrying my gear, across trains, buses, planes, and automobiles.
Yeah.
I can relate to that because I only just got my license on New Year's Eve last year.
Far out.
So I just finished my New Year's resolution, last year's one. So yeah, traveling, everything. Do you ever just get to a point where you're just God damn it?
Yeah.
Is that? Oh no! Wait, is that part of is that swear jar? Because I saw. Okay. But yeah, so I guess we can probably talk about that actually, because you've been doing a couple of gigs here and there.
Yeah.
And
I do a lot of mic nights, which
cool.
it's the mic night scene in Melbourne. I don't know if you guys sort of been around that.
A little bit here and there. I think.
Did one last year, first one.
Yeah.
Impromptu with alcohol, but yeah.
Because I feel like they're either in Northcote or Fitzroy or Brunswick, or they're all the way in Belgrave.
Ooh.
In the Far East. So as someone who lives in Blackburn,
Yeah.
it's 1 hour this way or 1 hour this way. I guess I've gotten quite adept at putting all my stuff in a blue bag and just hoping that people don't knock it on the train.
Yeah.
But I've been doing quite a few mic nights. Been playing, testing out some songs for the gig that I've got on next week, which I'm super excited about.
And whereabouts is that for our lovely audience?
Shameless promo, bar open on the 2nd of March, I believe.
Yeah, at 8:30 or 8:30.
It's pretty late. I think it starts 9. I'm joined by Melissa Ramsey and Sikanda, who are both very talented acts as well.
Yeah.
Sikander I've seen before. I haven't seen Melissa play, but Sikander I know does some really cool stuff. Like they're sort of like, they've got like sort of Latin, Eastern European as well influence. They do like, I think they have like a saxophone player and as well as a rapper, and got really cool percussion going on.
It's gonna be interesting.
It's a lot of interesting sounds, but they work together really nicely.
Cool.
Yeah, I've just sort of been testing a few songs from the new album, seeing how that plays around. So super excited because that concert is going to be the proper like album show. Like,
the launch show, because it was meant to be
February.
I think. Yeah, back because of COVID
and restrictions and everything. But yeah, the whole thing's like front to back, first track to last track, which I've never done before. So
that's gonna be
tenacious.
I wanted to go. As it make it sound like it hasn't came. It's already gone. But like I have to take my wisdom teeth out on Friday. So the next, because it's on the Saturday, right? Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to. My face is gonna be like swollen.
No, that's all good.
Damn it. At least I get to enjoy this live show that's gonna be released as of recording 2 days, or as of recording the podcast, on the Monday. If you haven't watched that, go ahead and watch that right now. But
I was pretty good.
it's probably one of the more smoother ones I've done. Yeah, I guess because your album just released a month ago, 20th January, and I saw a post I think a couple of days ago. It's been pretty well received.
Yeah, it's been really good actually. Like I remember, every album it's always been. I'd like to say every album has been a jump up, but there was the one before this, Reflections, was probably a slight jump down. To be honest, okay. Like in terms of reception, like I'm proud of a lot of stuff on that album, but this one I think it's been a really strong vision. I really took my time trying to get things right, and I was inundated with like so many responses from people, like which I'd sent it out to a lot of people, but I didn't expect so many people to like actually like take the time to listen to it. And it's been I had my biggest streaming day ever.
It's been a long time. Sorry,
that time. A long time.
Sorry, I was quoting that song.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Pat's really well known for his references.
No,
sorry.
No, it's funny, man. He just called me off. He called me off guard.
Sorry with the it's yeah.
But
You'll
yeah,
come back to it as well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
God damn.
Sorry.
Oh man. That song was a kind of a turning point, honestly.
Yeah.
Like to segue from the point in which would not normally be segued from.
Yeah.
I think that song is an example of something that I really had to spend a lot of time on to get right. Like generally my process with songwriting is I'll kind of get 80% of the idea down like in the first like 4 hours or so. Like I'll just sit down and I'll just like work on it and get at the very least get like the composition and like the foundational ideas,
like the structure and
yeah
okay.
And then in terms of like the production and all the prettiness, more and more lately, see when I used to pretty much do everything in one day, and now I tend to come back and touch on the production a lot more, which I think is for this album it's been pretty important because some of those songs took a long time to get right.
I think it gives you some fresh perspective when you come back to it. So
yeah, I'm just thinking like the bass, or like the huge like gain jump in like Time Lost and like went in like the latter half of the song where it just how long did that take?
Time Lost was there are 2 songs on this album that I procrastinated on because I was scared of coming back and fucking it. Scared of
we have to switch on
fricking it up.
Yeah. It's okay. We'll beef it, don't worry.
Terrible guest. And that was Time Lost was one of them. Take Me Out was the other one. But for Time Lost specifically, I remember that entire first section with the intro and the long verse and the really sort of, I just want you to know if we were here, like the very intimate bit before the big drop.
Yeah.
All of that was the original sort of idea.
Okay.
On the first day of writing, and I knew I wanted something really big and impactful, but I think I'd done like 3-4 hours on it, and I think I got intimidated and I stepped away from the song, to be honest. And it wasn't until like I was playing a gig in like December, and I was like, I kind of want to play Time Lost, even though it's not done.
Yeah.
So earlier, I think the day before, I went in and I just did it. I just worked on it then and got it ready in time for the show, and it went over really well with a lot of people. So, and then actually there is Time Lost was a pretty interesting sort of production process, because it was that, and then the drop came. That was about like 3-4 months after. And then another like 4 or 5 months after that, when the album was properly solidified, I had all these like extra sounds to sort of meld in as I'd showed someone the song, and I remember they were saying like, it just doesn't feel dynamic enough. And
okay. Yeah.
And you know when you sort of know something, but you kind of lie to yourself a little bit?
Yeah.
I was a little bit like that.
'Cause I guess if you've been previously procrastinating the song, like, I get that.
Yeah, like this is the first album where I think I was scared of finishing some of the songs just for like the sake that I wanted them to be really good.
Okay. Yeah.
And I would like, I don't want to pick favorites, but Time Lost and Take Me Out are two of what I think of like, I think they're two of the most technically impressive songs that I've done.
I mean, you had the weird kind of, I don't even know how to describe it. And Take Me Out was the really high pitched kind of chorusy thing.
Yeah.
How does that even work? As the part, I was like, what? But it was it's really catchy actually. It's a part that stuck out to me. But yeah.
So Take Me Out was so I think it was one of the first songs that I started for the album, and that one I procrastinated for about 14 months. That was a long one. So yeah, like I remember everything up until the sort of 80s kind of big synth wavy kind of drop at the end. Synth wave is probably not the right word, but everything up till that I'd done. I had old vocals that I'd grown attached to because I kept listening to the demo, but deep down I knew they were kind of not adequate.
Yeah, right.
That high-pitched thing, I think I was trying to make something sort of like 100 Gexy. Like, sort of like Charlie XCX, 100 Gex hyperpop kind of thing at the time.
Yeah, I hear that now, yeah.
And like, I just like, the idea of the auto-tune being like an instrument is like, it runs through everything, but especially in that song, it was very much like, I recorded that vocal, and after tuning it, I was just like, it's a pretty nonsensical, like there are lyrics, but that song I do have like a strong meaning associated with it, but it's very much like that melody is just, I think it sort of transcends whatever lyrics are in there a little bit.
Yeah, it's like the melody's more important than
just because it's like it's just such a wild like sound, because it's like vocal, but it's like, and there's a harmony in that second iteration of the chorus as well.
Yeah, right.
I'm really happy with the way that sounds, and I just thought that was the coolest thing ever when I'd recorded it.
I mean, yeah, it was definitely damn it, I lost my train of thought what I was going to say. But I mean, a lot of other people seem to enjoy it as well.
Yeah, I mean that's the #1 song on my Spotify right now, I think.
Is it?
So yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I think I mean I've been promoting it. I'm doing a thing on TikTok at the moment.
Easiest
Which-
promo of my life. Sorry.
Yeah. But every day I've been posting a video of me doing absolutely nothing in front of the camera to
Oh.
promote Take Me Out. So like it, yeah, like it literally just says like day 1, day 2 of doing. I'm just staring at it, and after like 9 days, because I filmed the first week, and then the other day I went back and filmed like a bunch of extras. So
Yeah.
for the next, I'm up to day 18. Well, I'm up to day 11 now, but up to like day 18 is filmed and before. And there are like 4 iterations where I'm just eating a muesli bar and looking at the camera.
What kind of muesli bar?
I think it was Carmen's.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
very nice. It's a bit bougie.
Yeah. not to flex on you guys.
No,
You
I would
know,
have
Uncle
eaten,
Toby's, I see.
I would have eaten quite a bit of those back when I was still swimming, like competitive swimming. So yeah, not to flex on you guys.
All right, okay, good.
Yeah.
How, because with you guys saying just before that, you know, the focus being on the music itself, you know, and how it didn't, you know, you're not, you know, with the lyrics not being as big of a focus. It was something like that. I'm not doing a good job at, you know, relaying it. But how did you go from writing, you know, mainly instrumental into, you know, expressing yourself through these lyrics?
Yeah, from colors,
Like what?
veracity to reflections.
Yeah. So when I started I got into making music in general because there were sort of 2 factors. I was very into like, I guess like video game music, like synthy music.
Yeah, Brennan and I can. Yeah.
And the other aspect was that I was coming from a background of making a lot of mashups and remixes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So from when I was like 13, I still run it now, but like the heyday was like when I was 13 to when I was like 18. I did a lot on YouTube where I like mix things. And
Okay.
the thing about making mashups is that it sort of teaches you song structure if you don't know song structure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. That makes.
So you're like forced to sort of see what songs are what parts and be like, this song has a bridge, this one doesn't have a bridge. How can I connect? How can I make the bridge work, or do I just get rid of the bridge in that song? Like all those kind of things. And part of like one of the things I was excited about when I started writing music was just being able to have weird song structures
Yeah.
and do like cool stuff with that. But yeah, I'm getting a bit off topic, but
Oh, no.
like
this is
I love it. Weird song structures.
but yeah, because it was mostly video gaming, and originally like I wanted to be like an Avicii kind of guy,
Oh, yeah.
like
Yeah, I
like
mean,
maybe like a video gamey kind of like Avicii produced for other people.
I did notice, like, I was listening. Yeah, because when I first listened to Colors, like 1 and 2, I was just letting it play through, and I was like, this guy's a gamer, isn't he? Because like it just sounded like, I was like, this, like there's some parts where I'm like, this has that 8-bit retro sort of sound to it.
Yeah.
Which I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was definitely a trip. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it was like that gamey kind of game.
It's like, I mean, because it felt very, I think, at least for those 2, besides Veracity, it's like, it kind of felt very,
Colors to Veracity was very much like, even like NCS kind of EDM, I feel. Like sort of like I guess, you know, like League of Legends, like soundtrack kind of music.
yeah.
Like that kind of cinematicness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but there was some that felt like they could have fit right at home in like some sort of visual novel, I guess, in some ways, right? Like some of the more chill ones, though. Yeah.
Funny you say that because
I thought of Monokuma Rock. But yeah.
oh damn, I didn't think that song would come up in conversation. Oh man, happy to talk about it though. Like that was I won't go into the for reasons I won't discuss. I won't go too into the creation of it, but there is an incident that we just do not talk about with Monokuma Rock.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Brandon's face
everything
is like, yes, the juicy details.
everything apart from that.
But yeah.
Monokuma Rock was was a lot of fun
Yeah.
until that happened. I can't say it's not. It's not
Yeah.
good.
Wouldn't, yeah.
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 I will also take a drink of water at this moment.
Yeah.
But back to colors.
Yeah. Colors.
Yeah. Funny thing is, I didn't really play visual novels until like 2 years ago. Like I've been really into Danganronpa, of course.
Yeah.
And then I guess like Zero Escape and Your Turn to Die, both like similar games.
Played AI Somnium Files like recently.
Is that good?
Yeah,
Like,
sounds like you're
is it?
It
'Cause
was-
I have it, but I haven't played it.
I mean, because I haven't really played visual novels before that. This is becoming gamer talk. Sorry, Caitlin.
No, it's okay. I'm just learning.
It was good. I think it was interesting, but I think if you Japan, and I feel like it's more. It depends on how much of a degenerate you are at points. I think that's kind of the case where some of the humor might be a little bit.
Dated?
A bit not dated, but just in a it just works
Japanese,
in a Japanese
like,
way.
sort of anime centric kind of.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
I still enjoyed it, but there was some parts where I was like,
That's questionable.
yeah.
bro, really? Like,
Just kind of have to roll with it because of the song.
yeah, definitely. Definitely, I think it's worth playing. I'm looking forward to playing the second one that's coming out next month or the month after. But yeah, I mean, they kind of did make it, like, for all those awkward sort of situations, they kind of did reason it with the character for reasons I won't discuss, because if you are going to play that game or read whatever, I don't know how to describe visual novels, but that's the thing. Yeah.
I mean, I guess like there are I feel like this becomes like a visual novel like podcast or something. But there are like visual novels, and then there are visual novels. I feel like there's like like because a lot of visual novels are just like high school romance, like.
I mean, like the
Kind of
the automatic, like with the dating sim sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But like, I feel like stuff like Danganronpa and Somnium Files, they seem like they sort of like they
Visual novels.
they're visual
extra
novels,
steps.
but they have all sorts of other cool stuff.
Yeah, they have some murder, like, not murder. I guess there is some murder, but mystery elements and some interactive stuff. It's not just text logs through. Yeah.
But visual novels were not an inspiration at the time of.
Okay.
Which is interesting that
Yeah.
you say that, because I just hadn't really played any of them at that time.
Right.
But yeah, colors was very much like, I think me trying to make like bigger sounds, like sort of practicing my sonic palette. And then colors too was a refinement of that. Like that was like, I kind of established a sound to go with, and I was sort of getting like, like by the end of Colors 1 and the start of Colors 2, that's when I'd figured out sidechaining as like a 16-year-old kid. like I was getting, like, I was developing my skills at that time.
Yeah.
Saying like sidechaining like it's the most revolutionary thing ever. But I mean, it was for me at the time.
I mean, to be honest, I know I've heard of sidechaining. I still don't know what it is exactly, because I'm not a huge audio production person.
So
do you know what sidechaining is?
No.
No. Okay.
I'm just trying to absorb the no.
I'm being
Yeah,
pretentious. Fuck. Far out. Frick.
No.
Frick.
You don't say anything normal. No.
Yeah, sidechaining is just like when an instrument like ducks out onto like another one. So like in like an EDM song, when like a kick hits in the bass, like you only hear the kick, like the bass goes onto the kick.
Oh.
So it gives stuff like pulsating, kind of like thumping.
Okay.
Kind of feeling.
Right.
So it's more sound that you're feeling rather than hearing?
Yeah,
It's
you can
sometimes-
use
Yeah,
it for
well,
other stuff as well.
Well, it's sort of like, you know how like if you have like a kick and a bass drum and they're in like the same frequency.
Oh, yeah.
It's sort of like another way to deal. Like it's pretty common in like dance music. Just to, like, to get the unts.
Yeah. I guess you said that you did do an interview with I don't know how to pronounce the
Leuven.
Leuven.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
we spoke quite a bit about the. I know he was very focused on sort of talking about the journey, and so I guess I'll do a very abridged version just to get us up to the point.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, Colors 2 was sort of the refinement of that. I also I think Colors 2 gets pretty weird as well. Like, I think the first song has like clucking noises in it somewhere. I don't know. I did a lot of
kind of remember that.
experimental-
I think I do remember that. There was a clock somewhere there.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, just a lot of weird instrumental stuff was on Colors 2. Sort of like, and then I got to the point of Veracity, and I was like, I had songs from Colors 2 that I'd written that needed vocal lines to be full songs, and was sort of interested in writing like lyrics as well. And I hadn't really even started being like personable about them yet. I was just sort of like writing. Like Collide was one of the first instrumentals I wrote, which is a song on Veracity with lyrics now. And that one was just sort of like a love song, but it wasn't like written to anyone. It was just kind of like a song. And then I wrote Make It Out, which was the first song that I wrote that was like personal to me, because it was me worrying about like just overthinking about success and stuff.
Yeah, right.
And I ended up doing a bunch more stuff, and I tried to get other people to record, especially Collide. I got like 3 people to record Collide, and none of it went through. So one day I got impatient and I recorded like 4 different vocals in one day, and then just got out Veracity.
Okay.
And I think I got quite accustomed to singing my own lyrics. So
Yeah.
that sort of transferred into Reflections. Veracity was sort of a bit more, it was still in the Colors style of being very airy, very EDM-ish at points. And Reflections, I'd started getting into like sort of 80s inspired stuff, a bit more synth pop.
Sorry, I just really like the 80s and 70s. Yeah, sorry.
The 80s is great.
Yes.
80s is so good.
I'm a zoomer. I didn't listen to much 80s music. So
It's never too late, Pat.
I mean, the 80s
Tears for
is
Fears.
very much still around.
Yeah.
Is Tears for Fears
It's-
the 80s? Or was that the Tears for Fears?
Welcome to your.
It's in the spirit of the 80s.
It's in
Oh,
the
yeah.
Okay,
Anything
I'm
that
not-
has that feel, like, but I definitely think that it's being, reflected really heavily, especially in these current times, like in the past, like, few years in particular.
It's like that trend though, like I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's this, I remember seeing this like report or article thing saying like, oh, by the way, like what was cool like 30 years ago is going to be popular now. And yeah, so like the 80s, that's like 2010 to I guess 2020, like that was a lot of back to EDM, I guess, because it went away from it and then now it's gone back. But I think, I don't know, now's a bit weird. Is it going to go back to grunge?
Oh,
Because it's the 90s, right?
Grunge is well and truly alive, like in the Australian music
Australian
scene
Aussie
in
grunge.
particular. If you walk
Yeah,
past, you're
that's
going to
true.
walk down like Smith Street or, whatever. You're going to hear it. Brunswick Street, Smith Street. Those are the 2 to watch.
Yeah.
There's I agree with the whole grunge thing. It's everywhere.
I think it's the spirit of it, really. I mean, not that I particularly listen to, I mean, usually when I listen to something, it comes from, I don't know, I'm admiring something about the creator, or I like meaning. I don't know. There's just sometimes there's this spirit, and I'm just after that. That's why sometimes it's not always the most, I'm sorry, I was just thinking of this one Justin Bieber song that is like my song that I'm like, that really sets me off. But sometimes, I mean,
Wait, does it start with Y?
I can't remember.
I think we had a conversation in this car one time about that, but
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, we would have. Everyone who knows me has probably had a conversation about it.
But speaking of Justin Bieber, I was thinking of that, like, because you mentioned the clock, so I'm like, I think that's probably the first time I heard, like, not the first time, but one of the first few times I remember hearing, like, oh, like, you know, What Do You Mean, that one
What Do You
song
Mean,
with the
yeah.
clock. Did that somehow like
Actually,
inspire you a little bit?
interesting.
I didn't mind that
Because
song.
there is a very old album. It's not even an album, it's an EP that I put out when I was like 15. It was the very first Gallagath release. There were 5 tracks. 4 of them were like the most preset sounding instrumentals you've ever heard. The 5th one was a remix of What Do You Mean by Justin Bieber.
Yeah. I didn't mind that song back in the day. There was a specific era that I was like, okay.
To be fair, it's like when he went through after he went through puberty, right? It's like he had that phase where it's like it's okay to it's cool to like Justin Bieber. No, you guys never like.
I mean,
there was a time when it was like, you know, with Beauty and the Beat and
yeah,
I guess
think
What Do You
like
Mean, those kind of songs.
2015 was a good year for Bieber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember back in high school, I was like,
Oh, actually, I was a bit old, but yeah.
right, you're going places. It's just, it was something like last year. There was something last year or the year before, and I just wasn't a fan.
Yeah.
You know, things that specifically focus on the same. There are some songs that take place kind of like, I don't know, it's just in a place that's not, it doesn't always, I don't know, access a feeling or other spaces or other times. It's, you know, songs are like, I know I'm dancing with you, girl, we're in a room, you're so hot. Anyway, that doesn't do it for me personally. That's all I was trying to say. There was a song like that, I don't know.
I mean, that's. I can't say anything about pop, otherwise I'll get cancelled. Nah, but I guess I mean, I still am very interested in like, so. I guess yeah. So the shift between like, because you know, shift from pure EDM. So because I guess you were just really testing out the waters for like your production skills, and then you know you finally did get out of that. And has that really changed much of like? Do you feel like it's really affected your workflow as like when you're writing your songs?
I think I spend more time on songs than I used to. I think that's one. I'll see if I'll think of another one because I feel like I already sort of hinted at that before. But in terms of, I think I got more ambitious as well. Like, instead of having like the instrumental bits like be the main focus, having the vocals be the focus means that there's like a mood that's being created through the lyrics.
Yeah.
And trying to like translate my sounds, like my sonic palette, to create a vibe to like existing lyrics has been like, I don't know, I think I naturally have spent like more time on that. Like I almost spend more work on the instrumentals to the songs with vocals than the ones that are instrumentals, which is weird to think about, but it's sort of come across that way.
It's kind of interesting because it's like, I think I've kind of shifted away from that. I guess if you guys know, like more of the recent stuff that's not released in my, not shameless plug-in, but EP I'm hoping to release very soon. It's like, because you'd focus on, because now that you have the lyrics, it's like you'd want to write a song around that, I guess. Yeah. And it's like, I feel like I spend more time on the instrumentals of those songs still though. Do you find that the case?
I mean, I don't know, my process has become pretty streamlined, so it's sort of, I think it's easier to focus a lot of time onto like the tweaking of things, if that's...
Yeah, I spend way too long doing that. If anyone's like followed my like live stream, I'm just like, oh, that note doesn't sound quite right. Let's tweak that. But yeah.
Yeah, your comeback was terrible for tweaking. I mean, the whole album was really, in a way, because I was originally going to have it sent to someone else. And, well, not sent, but I had a producer
sent
friend.
away to someone.
But I had like a friend that like, he was a producer guy as well, and he's a very talented guy. He's great at what he does.
Sorry.
But no,
I'm sorry.
You're cool.
Oh god. All right. Okay.
But
yeah, good producer.
Yeah, he was a good producer, but he was
Okay.
I was just thinking about because I was thinking about the sentence and how it would come out of my head, and I realized he was a good producer, but he was German, which sounds really bad
Okay.
just on its own.
Yeah.
But it's not his fault for being German. It's nothing to do with. Well, I mean, it kind of is because he just came from a different background culturally, and I think because of that, like tapping into that kind of internetish, like hyperpopish kind of thing that, like I've grown up making content on the internet, influences everything I do. He didn't have that kind of upbringing, and actually now that I say it, it's nothing to do with being German. It's more to do with just being on the internet or like how old you are necessarily. But he wouldn't have got
your particular cultures and ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it would have been like a barrier for how the mix would have come out.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I because it's like, I mean, Brandon, like, I think we can agree, like, one of his songs, you got it sent off, right? And then it was like, the mix isn't quite right.
Some people just have a different ideas. And, you know, sometimes, I mean, with your music, I mean, at least I know how this feels for me, but I want it to, it's like myself as being translated, emulated, I don't know. And so you want someone who, I don't know, is on the same page as you.
It's always gonna like work through every single thing. Go, okay, if you're happy with that, cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jeremy. But I mean, even Sherry, I think it's a really common sort of thing. I guess that's why a lot of people, I guess you
self-produce.
Self-produce it, right?
Because it is like I mean, music is subjective. Like even in the mixing stage, like there's like there's no real correct answer. It's all based around the standards that we have.
Yeah.
And if you look at something like hyperpop, like people will like boost like sounds massively and distort the hell out of them. And like there are entire cultures of music which are just hard, like incredibly difficult to understand if you come from the perspective of another culture.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, mixing has to be subjective in that way. So I feel like I kind of had to do it myself just to properly convey the message.
Yeah.
Not that I'm like I'm open to working with like other mixing mastering kind of guys, but
in this instance
for that album.
But you want it to be what you've like. You have a particular like mindset of it, and which makes sense.
And I mean, that did come with its own sort of set of things. Like for You'll Come Back, I spent an entire day recording vocals that didn't get used.
Oh no.
Yeah. I remember I'm gonna have to swear, so I apologize in advance.
That's okay.
But I ended up calling because I really wanted You'll Come Back not to have any auto-tune on it originally, which Same Circles ended up being the song that didn't have any like auto-tune on it.
Whose vocals is that yours? Or was it the other person? Because I know there's three people credited.
No, it's my main vocals, and then
Yeah.
of course Michaela does the second verse in that. And the third guy, Yellow Monday, is my friend Tom, who played the guitar solo. Yeah. So we're trying to organize to perform it together at the gig, which I think Michaela will probably be on board for as well, hopefully. So,
I think we had a talk about that actually one time. Yeah, she seems pretty okay with it. Yeah.
So hopefully that works out. But yeah, You'll Come Back, I was really set on using like a less intense set of auto-tune and having it be this natural, like big moment, because it's like a big release of a kind of thing, and I wanted it to be sort of like more theatrical, and I thought maybe like not auto-tuning this one might be quite like an evolution for me.
Yeah, because
like it's sort of my sound, but I don't want to be limited by it as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And
reverse T-Pain.
And I recorded it all, and I couldn't tune it right. Like I think I'm just not a good enough singer to hit those high notes, and I'm happy with the way the song came out. I think it actually sounds really good for like tuned now.
I think it works for what I think it like if because it's like I've kind of been debating this whether it's like we can agree that I guess we're not the most proficient singers, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to that, right? It's like, and yeah, definitely myself. It's like, so I guess, yeah, it really depends on how you tackle the song, I think, and what you want to achieve. And I think it works, honestly, like, because I think a lot of people start to get hung up on how great a voice sounds for that alone, but then it just doesn't work with the song. So yeah, I think Same Circles went well.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty happy with Same Circles. And I feel like having it be a bit detuned sort of worked with the general. Yeah, because it's, I mean, Same Circles it's about feeling stuck in your old, like, stuck in the same place over and over again, like, every day. It's about not growing, which sucks. And you feel a bit disjointed and a bit out of sorts, and I think having that sort of be a bit like it was an intentionally off kilter song. So yeah, but Your Comeback was, I guess, relatively a bit cleaner of a song. So I really wanted to hit those notes. I remember I got really annoyed, and I think I ended up having like I have like a whole set of multi-tracks of the vocals that are named "You'll Come Back Fuck Take" because I was so pissed off at at the whole thing.
Oh god.
Like I think it's a testament. At least I don't want to say it's a testament necessarily, but no other album have I been salty at myself. Like, well, not even at myself, just salty as a result of trying to get something right.
Yeah.
In the same way, Take Me Out as well. That one I spent ages trying to get everything at the right levels for.
With a lot of F takes in that one.
No, that one was pretty. That one was nice. Yeah. Where were we up to?
I guess. I guess with the
how did we get here?
Because you mean, yeah, how do we get here? I guess with the collabor, you've been collaborating more and more recently because you've been, you've collaborated with a couple rappers here and there, and I guess how do you go about that? Like, does it change much? Like
between person to person.
Yeah. Just,
I guess with collaborations, I've always gone into things with like the mindset of whatever they use, I'll take. Whatever they give me, I'll use.
Yeah.
Because generally, generally people want to do it like people don't really phone things in. I find, which is good. Like I don't think I've ever like had a verse where people haven't like the other person hasn't been passionate enough about it to properly.
Yeah.
But in terms of like you're asking more in just like the actual process of collaboration or like the reaching out, or
both,
just
really.
Yeah.
Like the communication aspects.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of, I guess, cold approaches, which sounds it's a bit of a businessy way to say it actually, but like, yeah, like quite a few, like for most of my first, pretty much might even be all of them. For all of my collabs, I've had a vision, I've made a song, I've been like, it'd be really cool to have a rapper here, or I could probably use a vocalist here, and then I've just sort of sent a message and seen if someone's open to it, and
Yeah, right.
like 90% of the time they are. So I've had
great.
a pretty good track record.
That's a good track record.
That's good.
I know with Michaela, I just sent her a message, and I was like, I'm doing a song for my album. I think your vocals would be really cool on it. Any chance you'd be interested in potentially recording something for it? And yeah, it's pretty much just been like that kind of thing for each of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely like pretty interested in doing more kind of collab work. Like it'd be good to like even just like jam with people.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
kind of develop songs like that are like born as collaborations instead of just
yeah.
having my own thing and then being like,
which might be like
Yeah.
difficult for some of us in the room. But myself included. Because it's just it's a bit scary, isn't it? Like just it's like letting it go. Yeah, I guess it depends on what it's about, right?
I think it's like that's why bands break up. It's over stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna have a comment about like, you know, especially if you're like, this song is my baby, and then, which I don't know if you ever experienced that, but and then, you know, when you're in a live environment and it's like, and what if you're like, this is my baby, and then someone walks up to it like and says, your baby is ugly, and then you're like, oh my god,
Look how
like,
domestic of my boy.
this is my whole heart, you know. to you know.
Don't insult other people's babies.
Yeah.
Say is a good rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very weird analogy, but like it's like,
You know what I mean? It could be
don't insult someone's song like someone else's child.
I think it's sometimes how you approach something, like, you know, is very important, especially if you're dealing with someone who, you know, well, everyone has a different like emotional capacities and, you know, communication styles. So I think the best thing you can do when walking into a collaborative environment is to just, you know, be that open, be that respectful. And
Then is it a kind of a problem though? Like if you tie it, because then if you're really offended if someone says your song sucks, is it sort of like kind of
like
are you tying too much of your self-worth into it?
I think sometimes, that
might
definitely
be.
happens.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No, I think
it's a tricky one.
I mean, when you write something like, I mean, music can be. I mean, I guess not all songs are necessarily personal, but if you, if you put like lyrics down that are a reflection of your true emotions,
Yeah.
you know, your true self, then I guess it's weird because like someone can hate a song for so many different reasons,
Yeah, that's true.
and I guess it could be. I could see how you could say it's like too much to tie it into your self-worth if they're just like this beat sucks
Yeah.
or something, or if it's like because you don't know what necessarily isn't connecting with them.
Yeah, it's like, you know,
But
you shouldn't say that comment in the first place, but at the same time, but if you get hurt by it, it's like, I don't know. It's a bit, as you draw the line, I guess, because it's like, they don't know how much effort you put into that song. But then does that effort matter? Because that's not what they hear, you know? Like, I don't know.
I feel like it goes both ways. Like, I think it's important to be gentle with people's ideas when you're collaborating in a creative space. And it's also important to be aware that your ideas may not be received in the way that you want them to.
Speaking of, you know, ideas, what, I guess, any new ideas, I guess, for the future? Sorry. Yeah. Damn it.
Yeah.
Had that.
You smashed
No,
them
it's cool.
segues.
I don't want to release an album, but I do want to release a new album. I just put one out. Well, it's like albums are just like I'm trying to be up and coming, right?
Yeah.
So if I release a whole album and, you know, people who don't know me see it and they're like, I don't want to sit through a whole album. Like, I'm interested, but I'm not that interested. Like, generally, like, I guess the meta is to put song by song, is to go song by song, release wise. Yeah, we're in the single meta right now.
Yeah.
And I know I should be doing that, but I love writing albums, and I'm trying to stop myself from just creating another album. But I've got around 8 or 9 tracks that I'm sort of just like sitting on at the moment.
Wow. Okay.
So I probably will release them single by single.
Not all 9 of them though. Right. Or less.
Probably like
half. Probably. Is that the meta, or is that
probably what like. There are artists that are just doing like a single each month that they've been doing for like 2 years, and like it's not uncommon anymore to just put out single after single. But
right?
I think what I'd like to kind of bridge the gap and do like these singles are all going to be branched onto this one big album rollout.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like, I was going to say the name, but I probably shouldn't say that. I've got an album name in my head for the one after Abnormal Nocturnal.
Okay. Cool.
It's different. I think it's...
Could you say it and we'll just bleep it out?
So we'll know, and everyone will know that we know.
It's called Daylight.
Okay.
And I think I think the set of songs will most likely be out around the back half of 2022.
Awesome.
There's one really ridiculous kind of like it's like the most... Okay, Wake Up is the most 80s theme song I've ever done.
Yeah.
But this one's like the close second.
Okay.
I think I was like... This is not useful, like, for like anyone who's like heard the album coming in, they're like, why is he talking about like a song that doesn't exist yet?
Oh no. They'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, I knew that this was coming, and they'll feel special. So
Yeah, I guess that's sort of that's a good way to look at it. But yeah, there's one song, I'm just gonna say the name. You don't even have to bleep this out. It's called Send Me a Line. I was like texting a girl, and it was like the back half of 2021 lockdown, and it was very much about like how ridiculous it is to communicate via text and have that be like the emotional through line of the whole thing, because I hadn't met her in person at the time. And it's also like don't put too much like value into someone you don't really know kind of thing as well.
Yeah.
And that song's really cool though. Like it's got this like big synth solo and really cool sound effects and everything. And I want to put it out as a single soon. So yeah, that's one thing.
cool.
I'd say the other big thing for the future is probably TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, you did say you were starting to do a little bit of that.
It's definitely translates well to this, these upcoming generations, which I guess kind of goes hand in hand with the shorter attention spans as well. But I guess, there's a lot of songs that really take off, and, all the dances. So many dancing people. Yeah.
There's a lot to wade through.
Yeah, I was like, the thing I just, like, I don't know, I just remembered, like a family friend, I suppose, and it's just like, the mom was just like, yeah, TikTok exists, and there's just, it was a bit of an interesting conversation that we had about the dancers being underage, but a bit questionable.
It's young and it's got a lot of problems. Like, it is very easy to get banned for certain things, and it's not easy enough to get banned for other things.
Right.
Yeah, but there are a lot of young people on it that are very passionate about music, so it's a good place to be. And I've had quite a few people, met quite a few cool people there. So
Cool.
It's cool. I mean, I think Brandon's been like, we should start a TikTok, and I'm like, I'm too boomer.
you should.
Yeah.
Seriously.
We can do it.
When the guest tells me we should. Okay.
Honestly.
Everyone who runs something should be on TikTok.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we might have might be able to clip some of these episodes out. This episode, but maybe past episodes if we feel like it. If we have the time and energy for that. But yeah. Is there, I guess, again, thanks for coming on the show today. Is there any last words you'd like to say? Is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap this up?
Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me, guys. It's been a blast. I've never really done something in person in this way, so this is honestly, this has been really cool. Yeah. Stream Abnormal Nocturnal, I guess.
Yeah.
And if you live in Melbourne, I am performing at Bar Open a week from now.
Bar open in Brunswick.
in Brunswick, on Brunswick Street in Fitzroy.
Okay,
Yeah,
Brunswick Street,
it's a bit of a weird one.
Yeah, right.
That's on the 2nd of March. I'm going to be playing the whole thing front to back. Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Damn it, I can't go because of the wisdom teeth.
That's okay. Pat, we'll go for you.
Okay, thank you. And then you can stream it.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you, Sam, or Gallagath. This has been episode 7 of No Socks, season 2, episode 1, if you want to call it that as well. I'm your host Pat, and Kate, and we're signing out.
Yeah.
Bye.
Just to break in my pain.